marks the 11th year Remembrance Day of Mullivaikal. Mullivaikal remains the saddest scar in the memories of Tamil people. The government of Sri Lanka massacred over 100,000 innocent Tamil civilians during the last few days of the Tamil armed conflict. They did this by herding the civilians into a small strip of land called Mullivaikal. This was helped by the UNHRC providing coordinates for the government of Sri Lanka to bomb schools and hospitals. There was no Red Cross or UN during the last few days of the war. Here, us, the diaspora Tamils, marched in our thousands alongside other ethnic minority groups, students, workers, trade unionists, and socialist fighting forces on our anti-war demand. This was the first time in history where ethnic minority group was able to surround and close up parliament. At the peak of the war, at one point, there was nearly 500,000 people marching on protesting on the streets of Britain. But all our pleas and protests just fell on deaf ears. The Labour government then and the Tory government since then have visited Sri Lanka and only paid lip service. They've used that opportunity to increase their profiteering motives. All the while, during the war, when we were protesting, they were funding the government of Sri Lanka to butcher and massacre the innocent Tamil civilians. Since the end of the war, there have been many evidence and documentaries that have emerged about the war crimes that were committed. The UNHRC goes and congratulates the government of Sri Lanka in 2010 for ending the war. Since then, the UNHR have only pretended to investigate the war crimes that were committed, but they were very quick to drop the investigations as soon as the government in Sri Lanka changed. Now that the Rajapaksa regime is back, there's been no mention of war crimes investigations. Incidentally, no change in the government in Sri Lanka South would mean any real rights for the Tamil people or their right to self-determination. Instead, our post-COVID-19 crisis would mean that there would be a world economical crisis leading to economical crisis in Sri Lanka, leading to recession. This would mean that there would be increased poverty, joblessness, and anger on the ground. The government, to control this, would increase militarization, in particular in the north and east of Sri Lanka, and go on the attack of Tamil people, on Muslims, other Tamil speaking people, students, workers, and trade unionists. This would mean that we need to build a fight back. They have, since the end of the war, had no mention of returning land to the Tamil people. Neither has there been any release of political prisoners even during this COVID crisis. Here in Britain, we would see again attack on our services, on the rights of workers, on students, and on trade unions. There would be attacks on other ethnic minorities alongside those who are fighting for the right to self-determination. This is why Tamil Solidarity want this day to be a day that we remember the lost lives, but at the same time, we use this as an opportunity to build a political fight back and political fight back for those who are living. So during the restrictions that are posed during this COVID-19 period, we're holding an online discussion meeting where we would be joined by forces from across the globe, from India, Canada, fighting forces from India and Canada. But at the same time, we'll be joined by students, by trade unionists, and by socialists, these are the people that we say are our real allies. It's important that you join in and you take part in it and ensure that you put your point out as well, and we can come up with how we can um, join our fight back. Ensure that you're registered in the links below to ensure that you can enter the meeting.